Welcome back to the show. My name is Evan, along with Michael J. Babcock.
What's up?
Wearing his Beasts hat, by the way, supporting Renee Montgomery. Love that.
Yeah.
Renee, huge news in the world of baseball.
Yeah.
Superstar hanging up his spikes for good. Tim Tebow has decided to call it a career. He is ending his dream to make the major league roster for the New York Mets. Announced it late Wednesday, saying, quote, "I want to thank the Mets and the fans and all my teammates for the chance to be a part of such a great organization. I loved every minute of the journey, but at this time I feel called in other directions. I never want to be partially in on anything. I always want to be 100% on whatever I choose. Thank you again for everyone's support. This is an awesome journey in baseball. Always cherish my time with the New York Mets." He appeared in 287 games in 3 seasons for the Mets farm system. He smacked 18 home runs, scored 107 runs. Not bad. I mean,
No, the numbers aren't bad, Evan. And you know what I remember most? I don't know if you remember this, Evan. You remember his first at bat, I want to say it was, in 2016. He hit a home run. And nobody knew what to expect from Tim Tebow on the baseball field. And he had that magical moment. And you just felt like, man, this is Tim Tebow. Like, he just does this kind of stuff.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was good. For not having played baseball in such a long time, being an NFL player, to just pick it up and go play, it shows how great of an athlete he was.
I have a question for you on this, Renee. People said that Tim Tebow, look, he was a good player. He didn't make it to the pros, so he wasn't that great. But people always talked about his impact in the locker room and his ability to kind of mentor the young players and also show them how a professional prepares, right? He was the hardest working guy, first one in, last one out. This is how you be a professional athlete. How does that rub off on young players? Because I know you hear media people say that, but when you're in the locker room, what's it really like?
Oh, yeah, that's huge. No, that's why even in the NBA, when people see like older guys in the NBA getting huge contracts and they're like, that guy isn't worth that amount of money. No, he's worth that amount of money for what he's going to do in the locker room. And what they do in the locker room is after a loss or after a tough practice, it's easy for the group of athletes in the locker room to be mad at the coach, start talking bad about the coach, start to turn on the organization. And you need those guys like a Tim Tebow or a vet to be in there, be like, nah, fellas, look, you messed up. You turned the ball over 5 times. You did this, and kind of bring everybody back to reality. If you don't have that person, then you can see how teams can get toxic. Players can start fighting on the bench, in the locker room. So those players are very, very important.
Yeah. So what's next for Tim Tebow? There are rumblings that he could get into coaching. But the other thing that I feel like is most important to him is continuing his charity work. I mean, we've reported on this so many times on this show, how deeply, deeply, deeply involved Tim Tebow is with several charity organizations, especially in charities involving special needs kids. We know that he's been so involved. He throws so many events. It's not like he's just putting his name on an event or writing a check. He is personally deeply involved. And, I think he's right that, he was kind of treading water with his baseball career, but now that he can focus on really putting 100% of himself into whatever he decides to do next, he's always been successful at whatever it is that he wants to do. And I think I speak for everybody when I say we wish you luck in your next chapter, Tim.